What's going on, guys? Not so pro football talk here. We're back at it with another video. It is Thursday, I believe, right? It's today Thursday. I don't even have a watch on, but it's a Thursday video. I'm starting to like these a lot more. Today, we're talking buy or sell on teams that should be making the playoffs that have missed the playoffs for a good amount of years. Okay, for at least 5 years, actually, of teams that have missed the playoffs. So this should be a lot of fun. Basically, buy or sell. There's 8 teams that will enter the 2022 season with a playoff drought and at least 4 seasons. Yeah, you're right there, Vince. And we're going to let you all know if we buy into those teams or we're selling those teams on the odds of them making the playoffs this upcoming season. This should be fairly easy to talk about, fairly easy to catch up and to learn about these certain teams. So if you guys want to chime in, put in the comments saying, oh, this team, heck no, this team, hell yeah, brother. Okay, we're gonna get right into it, you guys. We're not gonna waste too much time. But team number one, we have the New York Jets. Are you buying them making the playoffs or are you selling them? Me, for one, they're sold. They're out of here. Either no, everyone's sold. Everyone's
Yeah,
sold on this.
yep.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe. Yeah, it's fun because they had an amazing draft. But the last time the New York Jets were in the playoffs, Rex Ryan was that guy. Who remembers Rex Ryan?
I
Okay,
like Brett Ryan.
I like Rex Ryan too, but that was in the Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez era. You remember that butt
Yeah.
fumble? That come on, that was the last time they're in the playoffs. And yes, they hit a lot on this draft, and I believe in Robert Sala coming from, of course he was a Niner, so I believe in him. But he still has yet to prove himself. He's a defensive-minded coach, and his defense kind of struggled a bit. Yes, was he missing key players or not players, but key positions? Yes, he was. He addressed a lot of those during the draft in the offseason. I felt like he had a great offseason. Zach Wilson, that's going to be huge. That's a huge key factor. He's able to make those big splash plays. But when it comes to the down to down plays, when I'm talking about simple slant routes, simple check downs, that's where he struggles at. Um, where do you guys feel about this, their season coming up?
Yeah, they had a great draft. I feel like they're going in a positive direction. There's some of these uh, teams that haven't made the playoffs for a while, and they still feel like they're just going down more and more downhill into uh, just playoff abyss where they're never going to make it again, like the Browns were for a while. Um, but I think the Jets are making the right moves to get back to the playoffs. But I think all these young players, these players they're bringing in, they need to be developed, and they need more time to bring more team chemistry. As far as next year, there's definitely a better chance, especially with Zach Wilson. Potentially, if he can progress into his sophomore year, if they build a team continuously with their salary cap, because I know they're in pretty good salary cap space, they can have a great chance of making it in 2023.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
if
man,
Zach
I
Wilson plays
agree.
well, yeah.
I agree. It all falls on Wilson. Um, he's gonna be the oil that runs that train and keeps them winning if they're gonna win this year. I think Robert Sala has a good grasp on that defense, and they got some good picks in the draft, especially the first round. But their receiver core, I was looking at it right now, it's not that bad. They have Corey Davis. I like him. He's got good size. They did draft Mr. Garrett Wilson from, I believe he's from Ohio State. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, he was really fast. So I think whether they put him as a number one receiver or the slot receiver, he's going to get a lot of opportunities. It's just, is Zach Wilson going to get it to him? So that's the big thing. I believe they also went over after some tight ends. They got CJ Uzoma. Holy shoot. So that's a big guy who's a touchdown machine. So they set themselves up on offense to get some wins and some offensive chemistry and rhythm there in the Jets franchise, which they haven't had in a long time. But we'll see if they can piece it together. That's going to be the deciding factor on if they are fourth in their division or if they're third. That's the highest I give them this year.
They're definitely going to be fourth. No way they beat out the Patriots or the Dolphins. No way.
That's going to be tough, and yeah, hopefully they'll come in fourth. But that's a definitely a fighting spot between You heard it here, the Patriots and the Jets, and not the Dolphins. But next team I got
I
over
disagree
here,
with you
I
guys.
got from Mile High Stadium, the Denver Broncos. Okay, they have been in a drought for 6 seasons. Okay, ever since that Super Bowl run with Peyton Manning, they've been on some mediocre quarterback carousel that they just could not overcome until they sold the house on their mama to get the quarterback of the century. They got Russell Wilson, which I think is the answer for the Denver Broncos. If you look at it, they do not have a bad team. In the past, was it 4 seasons? They had a top 10 defense. It's just a quarterback situation. They needed to figure out what was going to happen there. I mean, if you look at the receivers, they got Cortland Sutton, Jerry Judy, then running backs Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon is not bad. It's not bad. But they got Russell Wilson now. What else do they need? They have success lining up. They are in the hardest division of football, but I still think they got a leg over the Raiders.
Ooh, I don't
It's
know. I
that's
don't know.
very hard to say.
I'm buying in. I'm all in. I'm buying into this team. You guys know that.
If I'm choosing between buying or selling, I'm going to choose buying. But I'm not going to put all my money in on them. They are in the hardest division in football right now against the Raiders, the Chargers, the Chiefs. The Chiefs, obviously, being the ones that have ran that division for a while. But both the Chargers, Raiders, with the Broncos, putting up a great great 53-man roster for this next year. As far as where this division ends up with who's at first, who's at second, who's at third, and who's at fourth, I mean, right now we're all just guessing and hoping at this point. But I think the Broncos have a good chance with Russell Wilson under the hilt. Unlike the Charger, Justin Herbert or Derek Carr, he does have that experience, that veteran, very as far as a veteran who has won. Derek Carr is a veteran, but he's not a veteran who's won on a consistent basis. So that's why I kind of want to give the Broncos that leg up on the Raiders and the Chargers.
Well, for me, I have the Chargers probably winning that division. I know it's a long shot because everybody's saying that Justin Herbert's going to have another bad year, but I think he's learned a little bit. He didn't have the best year this past year, but I think Denver has the best shot at winning second or third in that division. I'm not going to put all my money and double down on them because my quarterback moved over there, or we moved him there basically. But I just think that they have a lot of good pieces, and I think it's going to take 1 to 2 years for them to actually piece it all together and get the flow going. I know Russell Wilson is a guy who's breathed and lived winning all his life and all his careers in college and high school and all that stuff. But I just think going into a new organization like that, where he beat them in the Super Bowl and now they have him, I think it's going to be hard for him to get to the Super Bowl in the first year. So I don't put my money all the way down. It's a tough division, and the chances of them making the playoffs in that division are about 25%, just because everybody else is so highly stacked. And the AFC now is highly stacked. It's not just that division.
And remember, the AFC West are paired up with the NFC West in the schedule. So that's another bump on the road. That's
Mm-hmm.
his first game, right? Going to Seattle.
Baby week 1.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that should be fun to watch.
I hope so.
I think the biggest thing that's going to come down for the Broncos is going to be staying healthy. If they can keep those guys healthy, more than their division rivals, then they have a good chance at winning that division. But if they have injuries at key spots, then everything can crumble.
Okay, nice. Well said. This next team, can they go from having the number 2 overall pick to going to the playoffs? I'm talking about the Detroit Lions. They get Aiden Hutchinson, which should have been the number 1 overall pick. Should have been. Freaking Jaguars. And I'm sorry, I get a little upset there. But honestly, this team, it ain't bad. Okay, it's in a hard division. I get it. You got to face the Vikings. You got to face the Packers, where Aaron Rodgers is king of that division. I will admit I don't like the Packers, but I got nothing against Aaron Rodgers, just a little bit. But they are missing a huge key factor, and I will say it over and over again. If they would have addressed the quarterback position, they would have been in a much, much better spot. Okay. You're going to get the number 2 overall pick again there. Okay. Because of Jared Goff. Jared Goff ain't it. Mediocre guy. Low tier QB. Don't believe in it. I'm selling. Detroit Lions, as long as you got Jared Goff, I'm done. Don't want to hear it anymore.
For
Yeah, man,
me,
I agree. That's where. Okay.
for me, I'm gonna sell because I think that it's not Jared Goff that's losing it for me. I think Jared Goff is better than some other starters in this league, in my opinion. Um, I don't hate on him just as much as AJ and Vincent do. Um, but I think that the reason why I'm going to sell on them is one, they have to play the Packers twice a year. That's 2 losses right there, and then they don't have a complete roster. There's many positions on that team where they're just either too young or they don't have a good players in that position. They don't have a full 53-man roster to compete with these other teams in the NFC.
That is true. I do have the depth chart pulled up here, and they only have like starters. That's always their problem. They have good talent at starter position, but those guys that come in and out, just like Reed said, the 53-man roster does make a difference. So that's how they do lose a lot of games. They were competitive this past year, and I really like that because the Lions were never really competitive. I believe they also have like 3 of uh, the worst games, like the spread between points they scored and their team, their opponent scored in the past 10 years. So that's pretty bad. I saw that on Instagram somewhere, but I don't know. I'm gonna sell just because me and AJ agree so hard on the fact that Jared Goff is their quarterback. I'd rather run with Tim Boyle if I'm being honest. Their backup, but that's just me. We never really liked Jared Goff ever, mostly because of his performance. But yeah, it's just too hard for me right now, even with MCDC there at the coaching position. We love him. Uh, they need to keep that guy for the next 10 years because he's going to build something great. But right now, they just don't have it. Yeah, man, keep him for 10 years. Keep that energy. He's got the energy to do it. He's like Pete Carroll, but he's more rugged.
Pete Carroll's dust, man. All right, next you got the hottest team in the offseason. I'm talking about the Miami Dolphins with Tua Tagovailoa. This is an easy choice for me. Right off the bat, I'm saying I'm buying, okay? Because one, they get Mike McDaniels, okay? That's their new head coach. Coming off of Shanahan's system, he's going to do some wonders because that is a very, very 49er-like offense, okay? And their defense, it ain't bad, all right? It's not that bad. They're, you know, nothing to laugh at. I'm just gonna say it's not that bad. Nothing to laugh at. I believe they have a lots of proof for themselves, but it's all about Tua. I think Tyreek Hill. I know everyone's saying Tyreek Hill this, Tyreek Hill that, especially in fantasy. I'm tired of hearing that his stock's gonna go down because he got Tua Tagovailoa, and now he has to share the ball with Waddle. Mahomes extended plays, which made plays for Hill. Nah, get that out of the way, dude. Debo Samuel, look at that. They're going to use him as a Debo Samuel. Look how many points he got because of how limited Jimmy G was. Tua, I feel like he's a Jimmy G type quarterback. He's very limited. You got to get the ball off quick, get it to your slant route, and that's going to be the Hill. That's going to be Tyreek Hill. He's going to be that do-it-all guy. And then when you look at their running back situation, uh, listen, I don't know what Miles Gaskin did to piss them off, but they're like, hey, we're going to reinforce this running back lineup, okay? So, one, you bring in Chase Edmonds, okay? He was tired of not seeing the ball that much, so he's like, hey, I still got running back 1 juice in me. put me in. So he found himself a team. Then you have Raheem the Dream Mostert, who had an excellent season in 2019, led the 49ers in rush yards, who was the fastest guy in the NFL, even outran Tyreek Hill with stat that. Yeah, I said it. Hashtag stat that. And then they pick up Sony Michel from New England, and their fourth string is Miles Gaskin. You tell me that's not the best running back room in the league. You tell me that. You can say they're all mediocre running backs. Okay. Even if you do consider them that, they all have potential to be a RB1 in any team. Okay, don't give me that. This offense is going to be explosive and so creative because if he picks up anything from Kyle Shanahan, it is misdirection. That's what Shanahan does. The whole, hey, motion this way, motion that way, use your tight end, which they got a great tight end as well. It's going to be very fun, very creative to watch. And Tua doesn't have to do it all. Okay, he doesn't have to carry the backpack on him. It's going to be fun to watch. He has a lot of weapons. I'm clearly buying on this team. I think they're going to make the playoffs. They just have to get over the hump of the New England Patriots. All they got to do. It's all mental from this point on. Sorry, I went off there a little bit.
I'll go second right after that. I was just looking at their running back room too, Adrian. I was going to make that point, but you beat me to it. They literally addressed this because last season they were dealing with so many running back injuries. I remember someone, I think was it you, AJ, who drafted Miles Gaskin?
It was me.
Oh, you were so mad because the year before I had him, I think I picked him up as like kind of like what you call a blue chip player. Because he just came out of nowhere in his rookie year. But you had him last year and he was injured for like 12 weeks out of the season. And it was every time that he was in, they couldn't run the ball at all. But this year they really picked and chose from each team in the NFL who they wanted. They got Teron Armstead, Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, Sonny Michel, Tyreek Hill to be the biggest one that they got pretty much. And they even got a few pieces on defense too, but the ones on offense are the real killers here. And that's why I'm not just doubling down on this team to make the playoffs. I'm tripling down. I think that they will outbeat the Patriots because they had some good success last year. And now they have all these players that are going to mesh well. They got the system there that's going to help them super, like just a lot. It's going to be overwhelming, and it's just going to be on everybody, not just Tua. So I think if they can all spread the love, just like they're supposed to do with that offensive scheme that what's his name, Shanahan is going to do.
Mike McDaniel.
Oh
the head
yeah,
coach.
yeah, McDaniels. There you go. I mean, it's just going to go great. So I believe in this team a lot, and I've been saying it for like the past year and a half. But I'm a Tua believer, and I believe in that offense and everybody that's there.
All right. So I am not in agreement with these guys. This is the first disagreement really so far in this episode. I am not as high on the Dolphins as these two guys are. I think the Patriots beat them out. I'm a big Mac Jones guy. I like him a lot. And at the end of the day, Bill Belichick is Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick wins games. He will build a great defense to go against these teams, and he's the offensive coordinator this year. Who knows what's going to happen? But I'm not. I think all the stuff you guys are saying about the Dolphins, I think they have made great additions to their team. I think they could definitely be good. But at the end of the day, the AFC is stacked right now. There's only 7 spots. Only 7 teams are going to make it to the playoffs. And I just don't see the Dolphins being able to squeeze into that last spot. I don't see it happening. I may be wrong, but I don't think I think the Patriots beat them out at that last spot.
I was thinking that too because there's a lot of great teams in the AFC, but schedule plays a huge part. I'm going to read out the schedule super quick, okay?
Go ahead.
And I'm going to do a win-loss. So let's start off right at the bat against the Patriots. That's a dub right there. Then you're going up against the Ravens.
That's according to you, though.
You're right. That's according to me, right? That's according to me.
Ahead.
Okay, so start off with the Patriots, dub. Then you got the Ravens, they lose. Then you got the Bills, they lose. Then you get the Bengals, they lose. Then you got the Jets, they dub. Vikings, dub. Steelers, dub. Lions, dub. Bears, dub. Browns, dub. Texans, dub. Niners, they get demolished there, by the way. Chargers, they lose. Bills, they lose. Green Bay, they win. Patriots, they win again. And New York Jets, they win. Just kidding. They don't beat Green Bay, but that's a lot of dubs there. Okay. And 10 wins and you're in. Okay. 10 and you're in. That's what I like to say. I know, of course, that was before, you know, what it's like now. I mean, now you have more teams getting in. Uh, but yeah, I think if they get those 10 wins, that they could get in. That's a very fun schedule for them.
Those are the wins that you gave them, AJ. Those are winnable games for them, yes.
Right.
But you know how the NFL works. There's upsets. People, they might drop a goose egg one game and they just
Right.
play terrible. And then if you miss that 1 or 2 games, because they can come down to those 2 games that you should have won but you didn't. You could have won but you didn't, and that's how you're not going to make the playoffs.
Well,
And
I
I
want
think
to
that's
correct
what's
you
going
there,
to.
Reed. I want to correct you there.
Yes, sir.
Each of those games are winnable for this team. This
Mhm.
team has a lot of talent there, and really, it is mysterious because you do not know what type of offensive play style they're going to come up with, and you don't know what their defense is going to look like. So honestly, this is why it's so much fun to talk about the Miami Dolphins, because every single game as of right now is a winnable game. That's why I love
Yeah,
it. So I love it. They
just
could
like
totally beat the Bengals. They could beat the Ravens. They could even beat the Packers. You never know. They could beat the
just like
Niners.
the Rams, man. It's just like the Rams. Everybody was like, "Oh, that team's not going to be good. They just got all these stars. They're not going to mesh well." First year, boom, Super Bowl win. I mean, everybody doubted them at that time. They were like, "Oh, Aaron Donald, the defense is all the same." Now they got Bobby Wagner this year too. Are they going to do a back to back just because they're adding more stars? So Miami's following suit, and the entire NFL is following suit, except for some of the original OGs like the Green Bay Packers. They're waiting till probably midseason to add anybody if they need to, but that's besides the point. These are teams that are trying to come up fast and come up now, and they're trying to win now. So I think what they've done so far is going to help them do that.
All right.
Yeah. That's sorry. I got a little too into it there. It's just so much fun. I'm not a Miami fan. We just gave away a Miami Dolphins jersey, but this team is gonna be so much fun to watch. Hopefully, let's see if they can stay healthy. That's gonna be playing a huge part. And we got one more team to talk about, you guys. This team I'm not very high on. Not a big fan. I'm talking about another New York team. I'm talking about the New York Giants. With I'm selling this completely. I feel like, Saquon is a huge, I don't want to say bust, huge mystery. He gets injured almost every year. His numbers haven't been there. They can't get anything going. What's his name? Daniel Jones. He's just he he's not producing what he's supposed to be producing. I don't believe in the team. I know they got a new head coach. Not too high on him. I just feel like the organization needs a little fixer upper there.
No, yeah, man. I watch a YouTuber by the name of Bangle. He's more of a gamer dude, but he's a New York Giants fan, and even he says it. He's like, we're not going to be in the playoffs for the next 5 years, from what he can see. And he's pretty knowledgeable about the NFL and football, but to me, it's all about health with the Giants. It's either they're gonna go 0-17 because everybody's gonna get hurt again, or they're gonna win at least 5 or 6 games if they have everybody healthy. I have them at that third spot in that horrible, horrible NFC East division. But I don't think that they'll outbeat the Eagles, and I don't think they'll outbeat the Cowboys. They might get one game on each of them in a division rivalry, but they're not going to be anybody to compete for a playoff position for at least the next 3 or 4 years, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm selling on this team 100%. They need to figure out something this year, especially what to do with Daniel Jones, because I believe they denied they didn't pick up his 5th-year option. So this is his 4th year, and they got to figure out what they're going to do after this. Are they going to reboot and try to get maybe a veteran quarterback, or try to draft a quarterback, or are they going to try to re-sign him? They got to make a decision this year, and that will completely change the trajectory of this franchise. But what they have been doing these past 4 years hasn't been pretty. Daniel Jones has had brief moments of he can be good, but a lot of bad there. So this year, I don't see anything different. They're not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, easiest schedule or not. Ain't it, man? All right, so that's been our buy or sell, you guys, of teams that we think could or could not make the playoffs with the longest drought in the NFL. There's still more teams out there. Please let us know in the comments down below if you think if you're buying on those teams, you're selling on certain teams, and or if you agree with us. Okay, just go ahead and let us know. Hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. All right, we're hitting some pretty good checkpoints on our show. Appreciate every single one of y'all out there, and until next time, keep on grinding.